Hello fellows, we are here with a special video that I'm recording just an hour before the playoff stream in order to bring to you guys a couple announcements about the future of the Sim League and some changes that we're going to be making to the Discord server. So I will start with the small changes to the Discord server here that we're going to be making. Basically what we're going to be doing for the Discord server, and you'll see this soon, is we're going to be making the mod chat and the advisor chat viewable to everyone. You guys obviously won't be able to type in it unless you are a mod or an advisor, but you will be able to see it so that way we can have more transparency in the way that decisions are made. For example, if there's a trade that's vetoed by mods or whatever, you'll be able to see our discussion and just have more transparency in general. I mean, that's what we want to go for. So that'll be the first smaller change to the Discord server, but that's a change that we're going to be making very shortly here. Okay, the second announcement is that right now this is going to be our second to last playoffs where it's like normal. So we are going to be doing a couple of things. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. So let me go into, this is a copy of the file here. I actually have a few copies. So we're going to be running this playoffs tonight. Okay, this playoffs is the 2030 playoffs. Then we are going to be running the 2031 playoffs next season. So next season is going to be played out like normal. We already have the draft class set at, I believe, a 100 out of 100. So that next season is going to be played completely normal. And then after that, for the following season is when it's going to get a little bit weird. So let me go to my iPad screen just to explain this in the best way I can. So at that point, we are going to be in the 2031 season, okay? Let me write 2031. Now here's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to do two things. I'm going to make, at that point, after the next playoffs, I'm going to make a copy of the file, just like I have now. So there's going to be two files. On one of them, we are going to play something called Menace Mania, otherwise known as Chaos Mode. And essentially what this is going to be is, and this is just going to be for one season, okay? So we're going to have one season here where we basically do anything that we want. Like, anything goes. The way that it's going to go is that all of the rules will be removed, okay? All of them. There will be 0 rules with regards to salary caps, with regards to the Scipion rule, with regards to everything. So, for example, the salary will just be turned off, okay? And you'll be able to make any trade that you want. Trade vetoes will be turned off. You'll be able to do pretty much anything you want. Like, if you wanted to request, oh, I want to rename James Wiseman to Deep Dave the Third, that's something that you would be able to do. If you wanted to change Trey Jones from 6'1" to 7'3", that's something that you would be able to do. And this is only going to be for one season, and we don't know all of the details yet. We may end up simming it relatively quickly, so only having like 1-day deadlines, or who knows how it's going to go. There may not even be deadlines. It just may be, oh, randomly at 3:17 p.m. on a Tuesday is when the first sim happens, and you have to be ready for it. Boom, it's chaotic. You don't know what's going to happen. And whoever wins the title in this one season of Chaos Mode is going to get a special badge in the Discord. We're still thinking of a name for it, but maybe something like Chaos King or something like that. But yeah, you could collude with 5 of your friends and form a super team on the Indiana Pacers and trade all of your best players to the Pacers. I mean, there's like really endless possibilities. The only rule that we are going to be having, basically, is just a general, it's not even a specific rule, but it's just going to be a general rule that says like, hey, whatever you do, just don't make too much work for the people who are inputting the sim, right? Like the mods. Just don't make too much work, or otherwise what you requested just might not happen. For example, if you request, oh, I want everyone on my team to be a 99 overall. Well, that's not going to happen because we would have, because then everyone would just request that, and then someone would have to sit at their Xbox for 48 hours and make every single player in the league a 99 overall. So the only thing that we ask with this chaos mode is that you keep your requests somewhat within reason of what is able to be inputted into the file. Okay, so that's the only thing that we ask, but other than that, it's pretty much anything goes, okay? There might be a random event where your player just suddenly dies. There might be a random event where your player goes plus 30. There might be a random event where you are not allowed to GM the Minnesota Timberwolves anymore, and now, boom, suddenly you're the GM of the Detroit Pistons, and you guys switched, okay? Like, who knows what's going to happen? It could be anything, and it's just going to be complete chaos for one season. We think that'll be a fun way for everyone to sort of let loose and blow off steam and just go wild with different stuff. So, going back to this, that's an O, right? So we're going to have two separate splits of the file, two separate copies. The first one is going to go into chaos mode, okay? Then, once we've played one season of chaos mode, this file will just be done. It'll be deleted, okay? And whoever won the championship will get the badge in the Discord, and then we will go back again to 2031. So this is the sort of complicated part, is that 2031 is going to be played twice, okay? So we'll go back again to 2031 at that point, and everything will reset to pre-chaos mode, and from there we will go into, let's say, a 5-year super sim, and people will get their stuff from that, okay? So that'll be the 5-year super sim where, just like we did at the end of 2K23, we'll just live stream the whole thing in one night. We'll sim through it really fast. You aren't really able to control that much, and it'll just go. And then, at that point, after we do both of these things, what we plan on doing, and this is the part that's not as set in stone, okay? The other things are almost certainly going to happen the way I just described them, with some changes that we'll encounter along the way. But then the part that's not yet set in stone is when we reset the league after the one more regular season, and then the one season of chaos mode, and then the 5-year super sim, then we reset the league. Once we reset the league, we're thinking about doing a fantasy draft and starting in the 2010s. And obviously a lot would still need to be worked out with that. The way that you would do that is you would come here to... Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. That's the actual file. You would come here to My NBA Eras. I guess you would scroll over, create a new one. Okay, so how you would do this, theoretically, is you would go to the LeBron era, I believe it is, right? So this would start in the 2010s. You would click on it, you would set it all up, obviously, with all of these stuff. But then we would be starting with all these players, right? D-Wade, Derrick Rose, Melo, Durant, LeBron, Chris Paul, obviously. And we would be starting from like 2010 and redoing the draft with all of these players, and then going from there. And we think that what that would help is it would help people value their picks a lot more, because you would know, like, oh, Giannis is going to be in the upcoming draft, so this pick is this valuable, whereas before you don't really know how to value based on these regen rookies, and just little things like that. And hopefully that will help to just to help keeping the engagement higher, because people know who all the players are that are being drafted into the league. They'll know generally how these players that are already in the league are going to progress or regress. Like, obviously LeBron is going to be the best player for pretty much the entirety of the sim. You'll have other players like, oh, you know, Dwayne Wade is going to be good, but he's probably going to retire in 4 or 5 years. And it's not all set to where it's going to happen exactly how it did in real life. It's still going to be randomized somewhat. So Giannis might not necessarily progress to a 97 or whatever once he's drafted. He may get bad progression still and only become a 92. Who knows? Like, there's still going to be variation. But we think that it'll be a lot of fun for people to sort of recognize all of the players all the way through. Again, that's the part that's not set in stone yet. We may not start in the 2010s. We may start in the Magic Bird era. We may start in the modern era and just go from there again with a redraft. We don't know yet. But that is essentially the plan right now. So just to recap really quick, the first small thing is that the mod chat and advisor chat should be reset and should become available and visible to everyone to look at shortly, although like I said, you won't be able to type in there. Number two, the fact that we're going to play one more season after this playoff stream of just regular basketball, and then we're going to switch to chaos mode for a season, go back to the file, and then do a 5-year sim, and then we're going to reset after that. And then finally, the announcement that we will likely be starting in the LeBron era, the 2010s, although that's the part that's still not set in stone. So that's a quick recap. I know it's still been an 11-minute video. Thank you guys for listening to me talk. I appreciate it, and we will see you all for the stream soon. Bye-bye.